Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome once again to Randall R. Sadler Stadium as we bring you Earlham baseball, a midweek contest as the Quakers home against Mount St. Joe. Great to have you with us. Should be a cool afternoon, though we're going to get plenty of sunshine, and by this weekend things will warm up, as does the race for the championship, the regular season championship in the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference. As you know, the winner of the regular season crown will get a chance to host the HCAC tournament, and right now Earlham is sitting in pretty good shape going into today's action, only a game behind Rose-Hulman in the conference. But right now, here's a team that Mount St. Joe knows they need to get a win here again today if they want to stay at least within striking distance of the top four seeds in the conference. And the last time these two teams got together, it was down in Cincinnati back on March the 22nd, and it was a wild ball game where the Quakers won that one by a final of 10-7. Earlham wrapping out 13 hits on the afternoon, led by Nate Lynch, who went 2 for 5 and drove in 2. Brennan Laird also had 2 hits. Eric Elkus, a home run. He drove in 4, went 2 for 4 on the day. Matt Barger also 2 for 4 and 2 runs driven in, and Joe Piper picked up the win as well, or I should say picked up a home run as well, as Walter Talcott also got the winning pitcher of the day with 5 strikeouts, 3 innings. He went 3-0 on that day as well. So a good hitting day for the Quakers against Mount St. Joe the last time they got together. On the other side of the ledger for Mount St. Joe, they're a good hitting team. And last time these two teams got together, Zach Farmer 3 for 5. He had 2 doubles and drove in 3. And Nathan Hunter, a home run and 3 runs driven in. But again, the Quakers won it by a final of 10-7. Talcott is back on the mound here today. He is going for win number 6 on the season, one of the best ERAs in the country right now at 0.89. We'll talk more about Walter as we get closer to the opening of this one here today. Austin Ritchie will go today for Mount St. Joe. He is 0-2 with an ERA of 5.63. Well, the Quakers leading just about every offensive category and also just about every pitching category. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. And also we'll check out what other action is expected to go on today in the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference. Some of those games we'll keep an eye on throughout the day today because there are some important ball games to watch. And we'll also check out the latest standings. And right now, a dogfight between the top 7 teams and even Franklin, not too far out of 8 teams trying to qualify for this year's conference playoffs. When we come back, we're going to hear from Coach Sackett his thoughts about their last series. They took 2 out of 3 against Manchester this past weekend. They won 4 out of their last 5 and 6 out of their last 8. We'll talk to the head coach in a couple of moments. By the way, today is Earlham Day. And Earlham Day is a global event where alumni, parents, faculty, staff, and students from around the world celebrate Earlham. We'll talk more about what Earlham Day is all about as we continue throughout the day as well. When we come back, Coach Sack is next. Stay right there. This is Earlham Baseball right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. And again, we're looking forward to a great day of baseball here at Randall R. Sadler Stadium.
Help taking care of your car? I know my family does. That's why we take our vehicles to Beach Automotive in Richmond. We've been relying on Brad and his crew for years, and they always take good care of us without breaking the bank. For great auto service, stop by Beach Automotive at 110 East Main. Give them a call at 966-8181 or go to their website at beach-auto.com. If you would like your athlete to take their game to the next level, look no further. New Vision Sports and their staff has over 20 years of experience in coaching and developing the serious-minded athlete. New Vision specializes in improving your basketball skills, overall speed, and agility. Find them on Facebook or Twitter, or give them a call at 765-977-5831. Again, call 765-977-5831, or go to their website at newvisionsports.com.
Maybe you haven't heard, but there's a place in Richmond's Depot District that's better than being home. Little Sheba's is a lot like the bar in that 80s TV show Cheers. You know, where everybody knows your name. Come on down after the game on Fridays and join us for pizza. We're here till 11. Or grab some of your friends and try out a game of live trivia Thursday nights at 6:30. If you love live music, Little Sheba's features some of the very best every weekend. Where else are you going to find this kind of variety, along with some of the best food and friends in town? Little Sheba's in Richmond's Depot District. It really is better than being home.
For over a century, Richmond Power and Light has been providing safe, reliable energy to the citizens and businesses of Richmond and the surrounding area. Through their dedicated and talented employees, Richmond Power and Light is advancing their tradition of exceptional service through new technology, training, and efficiency in everything they do. For more information on Richmond Power and Light, go to their website at rp-l.com. Richmond Power and Light. Together, we make powerful partners.
Hey, Zach, talk a little bit about your most recent series once again against Manchester, even though you told me again before pregame that it didn't look like maybe you're going to get a chance to play those games. You come out, you win 2 out of 3 in that series.
Yeah, the weather wasn't the greatest on Saturday. We were supposed to play 2 on Saturday, and overnight, Friday into Saturday, got about 1.5 inches of snow on the field, which we had to push start time back from 12 to a 5 o'clock single game, but the snow was off the field basically at about 2 o'clock. We let Manchester know that we were good to go and had them come down. We actually got all the games in. You know, it wasn't the greatest of temperatures or conditions, but you know, when you're playing Midwest baseball, you're going to probably run into that a lot of the time. But I'm glad we got the games in because, you know, if you don't get that weekend, you lose those games.
Is this, at least from a weather standpoint, been a little more challenging maybe than in other years, or is it pretty typical right now?
It's pretty typical. We're blessed to have the facility we have here to be able to get those games in. If we were on a natural surface, there's no way we're playing that game because even if that snow melts and you got a clear field, you're going to have it be sloppy all over the place. So we were lucky to get that whole thing in, and many teams had to change what they're doing. Most teams aren't playing today; they're playing tomorrow, hopefully, because of the rain they got yesterday. So we're very lucky. Temperatures are always going to be a challenge. You never know what you're going to get rain or snow wise, but to say what we've played as many home games as we have, played as many games as we have, we're only down I think 1 game. I mean that's pretty amazing to say where we're at with our where we play and the schedule we played.
I was looking at the standings earlier today, and it continues to be, very, very challenging day in and day out, and it's going to be the same thing again for you guys today.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a big game for us. It's a big game for Mount. Mount is right now 5-7, so it's a big game. They need this one to kind of save pace, and we kind of needed to separate ourselves. We want to do that where we're separating ourselves from those middle-end teams because we're playing to be one of the top teams in the conference. But you got to beat the teams that are on your schedule, and Mount's going to swing it. They always do. They're going to be a very good offensive team. I think they're one of the better players in the conference. And Zach Farmer, he's a great hitter. He's hitting .390 with 6 home runs and lead the conference with 32 RBIs. So he's going to be a stud. And we just can't let guys take advantage of giving the free base and kicking the ball around. If we can let them, they're going to get there. So we just got to make sure we minimize and we get the opportunities to take a lead.
Go back to the last meeting between these two ball clubs. It went back and forth, and then you guys finally pulled it out in the end.
Yeah, we did. It was the first conference game played all year. The first game we got back from Florida, so we know that they're a lot better team than what they were last year. I think they were projected to be last in the conference, and they're not going to be because of the improvements they made recruiting wise and the players how they've gotten better in the program. So it's going to be a tough matchup, and the first one was that, and we expect that for not only this game but the last game we play against them. And if we win today, we win the series. That's what we told our kids. It's about winning series. We sweep, that's ideal, it's great, but you got to win the series, and we've done that with Bluffton so far and won the midweek series, and now we got to do it with Mount St. Joe's.
What do you expect today, though, from this standpoint? Talk about your pitching aspect, what you'll try to do today. And again, from that area of concern, you look toward this weekend, too. You're going to be back home, in fact, back home for the next several ball games.
Yeah. Walter Tallcott's going to be on the mound for us. He's our midweek guy. And last week had a complete game against Bluffton, had 2 back-to-back complete games. Also got a save this weekend, so he's been throwing really well for us. Our goal is to try to dominate the midweek games, and we think he gives us the best chance to do that and also be available for the weekend with the way his arm comes back. So, they're going to have to play, a tough Earlham team at our place, but we have to understand that we're playing against the game, not Mount St. Joe's. We got to make sure we make our thing, do what we need to do, throw strikes, get on base, put pressure on them, and see if they can make plays against us.
You talk so highly, and he's certainly coming out and proving it. Walter's done his job as a freshman. What makes him so special right now?
Walter is not afraid to throw strike one. He's going to be aggressive, go after the hitters every single time, and he throws multiple pitches for a strike, and that makes him so difficult to hit because you don't know what he's going to throw at what count. And when the hitter's up there guessing and not sure what's coming, you can't react enough quick to his fastball because it's in the mid to high 80s, and his all-speed stuff has so much movement to it, so it makes him very difficult to hit. I think he's one of the top ERA leaders in the country, and not only is he in the conference, but he's got 5 wins, 3 saves. He's putting a pretty dominant year, but we need him to be that same guy today because it's a big game for us.
He seems to be handling it all very well, just a freshman, and yet it doesn't seem to bother him too much.
Well, it's about hard work, and it's about preparation. He prepares himself harder than probably anybody else we have in this program, and he's a youngster. He goes out there, he puts the effort in the weight room, puts the effort in the conditioning part, does the extra work on the mound. He was over there at practice yesterday. We're indoors because it's raining, and he's working on backside drives to make himself even better. That's why we got the right kids in this program, because guys like that will make the initiative to want to get better, even if they're doing the numbers they're not. They're not content with what they're doing. They know the next start is their most important one, and we want him to do that, and he bought into that.
What I like about your ball club, too, is I think the pitching believes in the hitting, and the hitting believes in the pitching, and the numbers behind that really show it, doesn't it?
Well, when you're leading the conference in both batting average and you're leading the conference in ERA, you're doing 2 good things that are going to give you a chance to win. I think we're right there in fielding percentage as well, so, if you can hit it, you can pitch it, you can pick it, you're going to be okay, and our kids have done that. We told our kids today, we want to run, because we run. We have 71 stolen bases. By us running, we're going to hit, because we're going to get better pitches in the middle of the zone, because they're going to make a mistake out there. We got to make the routine play. We make the routine play, we're going to be good. We got to get strike one on the hitter, and we got to dominate the counts. We dictate counts, we dominate counts, and do what we do on the offensive and on the defensive side. It's going to be tough to beat us, and we just got to – we're getting close. We talked about that whole rounded, all-round team effort, and we're getting closer to it. We're seeing more consistency, and when you're going 3-1 in weeks, that's going to help you. We also need to get our help, and all you can do is, take care of the games you got in front of you, and, today's Mount St. Joe's.
I'll tell you one thing for sure. You talk about leading the categories that you lead in. I think you're in double figures in both hitting and pitching. Bottom line, you almost dominate every stat out there.
Yeah, and you're going to have guys, right now we got guys that are hot and guys that were hot earlier or colder. And so when you have a good enough team, other guys can pick each other up, and there's not much pressure because the next guy is going to help me out. And we feel we've got that in our lineup right now. And even with Nate Lynch having been able to play in, a week and a half with a little, sore leg, we're still getting offense, and we're getting other guys out there to see what they can do. Because when we get to that conference tournament, we're going to need all hands on deck, and we're going to need to see what guys can do. And there's going to be injuries, and you're going to deal with that, and sore legs and sore bodies, and how can guys step up? And I think we've had a good group that does that.
How soon will Nate be back?
Nate's going to probably be back hopefully for this weekend here against Defiance. We're playing for the long haul, and again, we got to get in the conference tournament, but we think we have enough talented players that are going to help us get there, even when a guy like this goes down.
All right, Coach, good luck today.
All right, thanks, Troy.
Steve Sackis, again, his thoughts, and certainly without one of your leading hitters in Nate Lynch today, but as he said, everybody else has been stepping up over the last several games. Here's how things will line up today for Mount St. Joe. Again, they're 5-7 in the conference, 16-9 overall. Simon Schaefer leads things off. He'll be at second base. Hitting second, the shortstop, is Matt Hoffman. Hitting third in center field, Nick Browning. Hitting in the cleanup spot, the third baseman, Zach Farmer. Hitting fifth in right field, Nathan Hunter. Hitting sixth, the DH, Tyler Pash. Hitting seventh and catching will be Ryan McCauley. Hitting eighth and playing first base is Kyle Kittle. And hitting ninth in left field is Jordan Corbett. So it'll be Schaefer, Hoffman, Browning, Farmer, Hunter, Pash, McCauley, Kittle, and Corbett. For the Quakers today, again, Earlham at 8-4 in the conference, 18-6 overall. Thomas Ray will lead things off. He'll be at shortstop. Batting second in right field, Ethan Bailey. Hitting third in center field, Brendan Laird. The cleanup hitter in playing third base today, Brandon Smalling. Hitting fifth at first base, Eric Elkis. Hitting sixth and DHing Joe Piper. Hitting seventh and catching Cody Krumloff. Hitting eighth and playing second base is Drew Dietz. And hitting ninth and playing left field, Matt Barger. So again for the Quakers, Ray, Bailey, Laird, Smalling, Elkis, Piper, Krumloff, Dietz, and Barger. When we come back, we'll have the first pitch coming up in just a couple of moments. Stay right there. It's Earlham and Mount St. Joe, HCAC baseball right here, Radio Troy Digital Sports.
There's only one place to go on the World Wide Web to find the best automotive deals. Wetzelauto.com. One of the area's largest inventories all in one spot. Wetzelauto.com. Here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Wetzelauto.com. New and used vehicles, service, parts, body shop, and rental. Plus, value your trade. It's easy to navigate. It's convenient. Wetzelauto.com. It's clickin' awesome.
Are new cabinets on your wish list? Visit the new Georgia Direct showroom and see the great variety of cabinets on display in a modern setting. Georgia Direct carries quality craft-made one cabinets, and the new showroom has plenty of styles and colors on display. In Richmond, craft-made one is only available at Georgia Direct, where the designers are always on hand to help create a custom kitchen for your home. Visit Georgia Direct's new showroom on 40 East, next to Red Lobster. You'll love what you see, and you'll love the savings at Georgia Direct.
Mancino's Pizza and Grinders, the very best in pizza and grinders. We use only the highest quality meats, cheeses, and vegetables. It's impossible not to taste the difference. Every morning we bake our bread to ensure our customers the freshest sandwiches. Mancino's offers more than grinders. They also have fantastic specialty pizzas and salads. Stop by for lunch, dinner, or after the game. Mancino's, 217 National Road West in Richmond. The taste of quality you expect.
The dealership where I bought my car told me I needed new tires. So, of course, I stopped by Best One and asked Roger to take a look. So they checked it out, and he told me not yet. He said I was good for at least another 10,000 miles. I've always gotten an honest opinion at Best One, and so will you.
Hi, I'm Roger Clark at Best One Tire and Service. We'll only sell you tires when you need new tires, and they'll be the right tires for your car or truck. I guarantee it.
Best One Tire and Service, North 7th and A, Uptown Richmond.
Are you looking for a quality used car you can trust to take you where you want to go? Stop at Tony's Car Sales at 250 National Road West. Tony's has a top-of-the-line selection of low-mileage, one-owner cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs, all hand-picked by Mike and Adrian Parker. Tony's is family-owned with 3 generations and 60 years of experience. Check out their selection at Tony'sCarsales.com or at 250 National Road West. Tony's Car Sales, where honesty, quality, and price sell cars.
Back once again here at Randall R. Sadler Stadium as we get set for the first pitch of this one here this afternoon. A single contest today, and then the Quakers will be back home again coming up tomorrow, and then on Friday and Saturday, 12 straight home games for the Quakers. And you see the right-hander, and boy, he has done a great job as Walter Talcott, 5-0. 0.89 ERA, 38 strikeouts in just 40 and a third innings, 29 hits, 5 runs, just 4 earned, and the opposing team batting average against Talcott is .201 coming into this one here today. You heard Coach talk about what he has done so far as just a freshman in the bullpen, coming out of the bullpen, the midweek starter as well as ERA, one of the tops in the country in Division III. And by the way, he's going to have to pitch well today because this is still a pretty good hitting ball club in Mount St. Joe as a team hitting .311, and they have one of the top players in the conference in Zach Farmer hitting at .391, 6 home runs and 32 runs driven in. So today will not be easy. But right now the Quakers have put all their confidence into the freshman as Talcott gets the start here today. Simon Schaefer will lead things up, and we're ready to get this one underway here this afternoon. Quakers want to take full advantage of all of the home games that they will have in the next 2 weeks. They took 2 out of 3 in the series from Manchester. Temperature around the low 50s here today. The wind is blowing just a little bit left to right. And Talcott's first pitch on the way, grounded in left field, base hit, and Schaefer. First pitch swinging, and a base hit into left field, and a good start for Mount St. Joe.
Now batting the shortstop, number 9, Matt Hoffman.
Here's Matt Hoffman, 284 in the year home run. He has driven in 15. Mount St. Joe is a team that doesn't run a whole lot, 17 stolen bases. The Quakers are a team that leads the league in stolen bases with 71. Hoffman steps in from the right side. The first pitch is in there for a strike. These two teams battled back and forth again their first time down in Cincinnati. 10-7 was the final, went back and forth. Quakers ended up picking up the win. Here's the stretch by Talcott and the pitch, and this one is hit into right center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Schaefer rounding second on his way to third, and Mount St. Joe coming out swinging the bat. Back-to-back base hits in the first two batters. And now runners at first and third. And here's Nick Browning, the heart of this order, 344, 391, and 370. And Talcott giving up the first two base hits of this one here this afternoon. Browning at 344, 2 home runs. He has driven in 16. Schaefer's at third, Hoffman's at first. Talcott into the stretch, and the pitch on the way is a breaking ball low and outside, 1-0. I mentioned the Quakers at 8-4 in the conference. We'll check these standings coming up in just a moment. Walter in trouble here in the first inning, and that doesn't happen very often. The pitch on the way is a fastball up high. 2 balls and no strikes. Zach Farmer is certainly one of the better players in this conference, waiting on deck. 6 home runs, 32 runs driven in. He would love to have the bases loaded, or at least 2 runners on base, as this one's hit towards Smalling at third. He'll go to second, and that throw is off the mark, and everybody is safe, and Mount St. Joe has the lead here in the first inning. So Smalling will be credited with an error. Browning will reach on the fielder's choice, and the Quakers down in this one, 1-0.
Number 20, Zach Farmer.
And here's Farmer. Steve Sakositz going out to talk. You see him out behind the pitcher's mound getting an explanation on the call at second, but I think that's a pretty good call because the ball was off the mark. The throw down at second and pulled the second baseman, Dietz, off the bag. Krumloff behind the plate today. Elkis at first, Dietz at second, Rays at short, and Smalling at third. Barger, Laird, and Bailey from left to right in the Earlham outfield. Talcott works into the stretch. Runners at first and second, and the pitch is a breaking ball in there for a strike. And again, this is one of those guys you have to be very careful with. Farmer, 391, 6 home runs. He has driven in 32. This is what Mount St. Joe did the last time these two teams got together. The pitch on the way is a good breaking ball, swing and a miss, and Farmer down on the count, and no balls and 2 strikes. And here's where Talcott will have to really shine here today. You're ahead, no balls and 2 strikes, and a great opportunity. Stay ahead of the hitter. Keep them guessing. The stretch again by Walter, throws to first, and a short lead. The tag laid on, but Browning back in time. No balls and 2 strikes. Early 1-0 lead for Mount St. Joe. The pitch popped up foul. Good cut that time by Farmer. Quakers, from a batting average standpoint, we're going to talk about what they lead in the categories, but certainly in the pitching side, number 1 in ERA at 3.34. The on-base opposing batting average is a swing and a miss, and Farmer strikes out. So big strike out of Farmer. And you undoubtedly got their best hitter right there, and here is Nathan Hunter.
The right fielder, number 6, Nathan Hunter.
The Hunter, no slouch either, 370, a home run. He's driven in 20. Mentioning the Quakers pitching staff, 3.34 ERA. The opposing batting average in only 257. That's number 1 in the conference. 18 wins, number 1. Number 1 in earned runs at only 79. There's another swing and a miss. Looked like a changeup that time by Talcott. Quakers also number one in the least amount of walks given up, and they're number one in assists this year defensively with 300. Walter gets the side runners at first and second. The stretch and the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball low and inside. The throw down to second, knocked down by Dietz. They were trying to catch Hoffman down at second base. Count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Schaefer led off with a base hit. Hoffman with a single. Browning the fielder's choice after the throwing error by the third baseman Smalling. Alcott's pitch is low, 2 balls and a strike. Right now, Rose 8-2 in the HCAC. Earlham at 8-4. Manchester 7-4. Anderson is 6-4 with Transylvania at 7-5. Defiance at 6-5. Those are all the teams with winning records in the HCAC. Ray bluffing at second. Here's the pitch. Popped up foul, and that will go to the right and out of play. Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the wind is blowing from left to right, so right-handed hitters will have a difficult time hitting that ball into left field. There is, again, the Earlham monster in left. It's 310 down the line, but again, a very, very tall fence down the left field line. The stretch and the break-even pitch, and got him looking. Nice pitch. As Hunter caught looking, 2 straight strikeouts now for Talcott.
With 2 outs now batting the designated hitter, number 24.
And that'll bring up now Tyler Pash. Pash at 347, 2 home runs. He has driven in 17. DHing today. Well, this would be big for Walter to get out of this inning with just 1 run given up as time is called. Well, you look back at the first 2 hitters. Schaefer, first pitch hitting. Hoffman didn't wait very long either. He was down to the count at 0-1. And then promptly picked up a base hit into right center field. Talcott with a pitch and a fastball low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Quakers busy week, not only today, back tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. So their pitching staff will be tested the rest of this week. Here's the stretch and the delivery on the way. Hit well toward the shortstop, Ray. He'll flip on to second base, and boy, nice job by the freshman to get himself out of any further trouble. We will move now to the bottom of inning number 1. Mount St. Joe picking up a run after half inning of play. Mount St. Joe 1. And Earlham coming to bat. This is Earlham Baseball, Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Hitters Hangout Academy has everything you need to train year-round to become a better player. They offer everything from cage rentals to private lessons and specialized classes. They offer hitting, infield play, outfield play, catching, pitching, strength, and agility for baseball and softball players alike. Their goal is to leave players with a better understanding of the game and to learn why they do certain things, and as always, play the game the right way. For more information, go to their website, hittershangoutacademy.com.
Hey, just a reminder, today is Earlham Day. We mentioned just briefly moments ago that Earlham Day is a global event where alumni, parents, faculty, staff, and students from around the world celebrate Earlham College. And last year, 1,117 Earlhamites participated in Earlham Day. You can also be a part of the fun and donate to Earlham Day. Even if you can't be here, you can give now or anytime before midnight coming up tonight to help them celebrate Earlham as a community. Just go to earlham.edu/alumni for more information. Again, earlham.edu/alumni for more information. And also want to mention that later tonight at 8 o'clock, Deal is Right, presented by the Student Life in Goddard Auditorium. It's a game show with cash prizes. If you can be there, they would certainly appreciate your attendance. But again, that's tonight at 8 o'clock in Goddard Auditorium. Well, the Quaker Bats will go to work now. We'll see the right-hander throwing today. As Ritchie, the right-hander, going, Austin Ritchie. This is only his 7th start. 0-2 on the year with an ERA of 5.63. Thomas Ray will lead things off. Thomas at 327. 3 home runs. He has driven in 18. So it'll be Ray, Bailey, and Laird, and we'll set that Mount St. Joe defense coming up for you coming in just a little bit. Ray again, 327, leading things off. And Richie, the right-hander, set to throw. Mount St. Joe leading 1-0 as that pitch in there for a strike. Thomas very aggressive at the top of the order, and the Quakers leading the league in stolen bases with 71, and one of the reasons why they're so aggressive is this guy right here, Thomas Ray, swings and pops this one up to right field. Hunter will make the catch, and there's one away. And for the Quakers, that'll bring up Ethan Bailey, 342. He's driven in 19 runs on the year, just a home run. But he has played well. Ethan Bailey, again, has stepped up with his Quaker baseball team and hitting in the number 2 hole. McCauley behind the plate, Kittles at first, Schaefer's at second, Hoffman at short, and Farmer's at third for Mount St. Joe's. That pitch high and inside, 1 ball and no strikes. And the outfield, Corbett, Browning, and Hunter from left to right. Richie gets the side, the leg kick, and the pitch. Popped him up foul. Well, we'll even the count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Quakers number 1 in batting average at 322 on the year. As Richie's pitch is hit into center field, Browning to his left and will make the catch, and they're 2 away here in the bottom of the first. Here is Brendan Laird. Laird at 359 on the year, 4 home runs and 24 runs driven in, and he is still swinging a hot bat. Those numbers certainly not reflective of the way his season started. He really struggled early. But back to the Quakers hitting-wise, they're number 1 in slugging percentage, on number 1 in on-base percentage. Total bases, home runs, stolen bases, and stolen bases attempted. 1 ball and no strikes now to Laird. I know the Quakers leading in just about every major offensive category. That pitch is inside, 2 balls and no strikes. And Brendan Laird has always had a great eye at the plate. He struck out a lot early this year, but he's a guy that walks a lot. Set the walks record last year. And this one popped up high to right field. Hunter to his left, and will camp under it, make the catch in a 1-2-3 inning for Richie and the Lions here in the first inning. After 1 complete, Mount St. Joe on top of Earlham 1-0. This is Earlham Baseball and Radio Troy Digital Sports.
It's game time. The Sportsplex is now open. Get your teams together and come out for basketball, volleyball, soccer, tennis, golf, batting cages, wrestling, and much, much more. The Sportsplex also offers court rentals for your entire team to play a pickup game or to hold practices. Use our turf fields for multiple sports, including flag football, baseball fielding, and rugby. Sportsplex is open 7 days a week. Check out FamilyFitnessWorks.com for more information and current hours, or call 765-935-0111.
Jiffy Lube of Richmond features the Jiffy Lube Signature Service Oil Change. As much as you paid for your vehicle, keep it on the road as long as possible. The Jiffy Lube Signature Service Oil Change is more than an oil change. It's preventative maintenance to keep your car running smoothly. Jiffy Lube, 2993 East Main in Richmond. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, and Saturday, 8 to 5.
Alums, want to connect with the college and your fellow Earlham alumni? Attend an alumni event. Our office is always organizing events locally and around the country and on campus during homecoming and reunion weekend. For information on upcoming events, visit earlham.edu/alumni. We hope to see you soon.
Back once again here at Randall R. Sadler Stadium. 1-0 Mount St. Joe on top. It'll be McCauley, Kittle, and Corbett all due up. Talcott got in a little bit of trouble in that first, but then eventually pitched his way out of it. Got two of the very top hitters on the team. This one grounded to Ray, off balance throw to first in time, and one pitch, one out here in the second.
With one down, now batting the first baseman, number 12, Kyle Kittle.
Here's Kittle, 370 on the year, no home runs. He has driven in 3. So Kittle steps in, and boy, the same pattern you probably saw in the first inning where the leadoff hitter anticipating a fastball. And here's another one grounded up the middle. Thomas charging, throwing again, and 2 quick outs. So apparently for Mount St. Joe, they feel that if they can hit that first pitch, they're going to be in pretty good shape, and they were in that first inning. Here's Jordan Corbett, 190. No home runs. He has driven in 4. Corbett out of Heath, Ohio. And Talcott with a pitch, caught the outside corner for a strike, and there's the key for the freshman. Get ahead of the hitters. 2 base hits now for Mount St. Joe. Walter gets the sign of the pitch and a grounder to the left side. That'll go foul. And Corbett down on the count now, no balls and 2 strikes. Kind of a feeling going to this one that, see how this whole thing plays out. You're either going to see a whole lot of runs scored today, or it was going to be a very low scoring affair, maybe nothing in the middle. Talcott will shake off the sign, and now ready to throw, and his pitch on the way off the end of the bat, foul, this time to the right side. We'll stay at no balls and 2 strikes. Hanover's scheduled to play at Transylvania today. Anderson at Manchester, Bluffton at Defiance. If they don't get those games in today because of rain, they'll move those games to tomorrow. No balls and 2 strikes, the number 9 hitter. Krumloff will set up on the outside corner, and the pitch right down the middle for a strike. And the 3rd strikeout now for Talcott, and a 1-2-3 inning for the Quakers. We head to the bottom of inning number 2. Earlham down on this one, 1-0. This is Earlham Baseball on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
There are banks that are big, and then there's West End Bank. A bank with big ideas to help people, business, and industry. If you're just starting out on your own and want a new car, West End can help. Maybe it's your first home and you need advice on financing. West End Bank has ideas to help you. West End Bank, helping build better lives and a better community. West End Bank is a community bank with big ideas and home to a distinctive style of banking. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Reynolds Plumbing, the area's leader in residential and commercial plumbing. Fast, friendly, 24-hour emergency service. You name it, they can fix it. Whether it's installation, remodeling, sump pumps, well pumps, water heaters, or sewer camera service, they now have service on heating and air conditioning. Give them a call at 966-0994 for free estimates. Reynolds Plumbing, 198 South 2nd Street in Richmond.
Back once again here at Randall R. Sadler Stadium. It is 1-0 Mount St. Joe on top as we move to the bottom half of inning number 2. It'll be Smalling, Elkis, and Piper due up. The right-hander Ritchie getting his final warm-up tosses here on Earlham Day, being celebrated around the world for all that are part of the Earlham community, alumni, parents, faculty, staff, and students. Smalling at 337, 2 home runs. He has driven in 24. Smalling, really like Laird, got up to a slow start, though. Brandon was battling some injuries earlier in the season, but he has certainly bounced back nicely, and Ritchie's first pitch almost gets him. 1 ball and no strikes. Smalling's RBI numbers right up there where you would expect them to be, 2nd on the ball club. That pitch stays inside, 2-0. And again, despite a couple of errors we have seen this year by Smalling, including the one in the first inning, he is still one of the best defensive third basemen in the conference. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and they're coming inside on him again. In fact, they've Tried to work that inside corner 3 straight pitches, and Ritchie has missed all 3 times. Austin Ritchie is just a freshman out of Cincinnati. The 3-0 pitch on the way, and taking is Smalling in the leadoff walk. And here is Eric Elkis. Elkis at .326, one of the leaders in runs driven in and home runs. 6 home runs. He has driven in 25. So the Quakers have their first base runner of the day. Boy, and Elkis, this guy, he had one heck of a ball game down in Franklin. Well, he drove in 9, and this one hit well to left center field. That's going to fall in. Over to get it will be Browning, and heading to second, but nobody covering the bag, and nice play again. Eric Elkis into second base, and he promptly picks up the Quakers' first base hit of the ball game. And now the Quakers have runners at second and third, and here's Joe Piper. They may have had a chance to get Eric Elkis at second base. He went about halfway, and then once he noticed nobody was at the bag, he took off. So nice base running that time by Elkis. Here's Piper, 306, 3 home runs, and he has driven in 14. And the Quakers threatening now here in the bottom of the second inning. The stretch by Ritchie in the pitch. He is in there for a strike. Earlham now doing this again with the first 2 hitters, much like what we saw with Mount St. Joe in the top of the first inning. There's only one player in this entire lineup that is not hitting 300 for the Quakers today, and that is Drew Dietz in the 8-hole. The stretch by Ritchie and the delivery on the way is a breaking ball that stays up high. And the count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Smalling's at third, Elkis at second. Quakers now threatening here in the bottom half of inning number 2 after going 1, 2, 3 at the top of the order in the first. Ritchie's numbers again are pretty high in the early portion of his career as that pitch in there for a strike. But again, just a freshman. 2 freshmen getting the start here today, and see if Ritchie can pitch himself out of trouble the way that Talcott did in the first inning after giving up the first 2 hits and the air, and Mount St. Joe managed just 1 run. Runners will get their leads at second and third. The breaking pitch back inside, and boy, he really just wants to get that inside call, and so far has not gotten it. The catcher McCauley tried to frame that one on the corner. Wind starting to pick up a little bit more out of the north, so we'll see how that'll play and affect the rest of the way here today. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Outfield played straight away. The stretch again by Ritchie in the pitch. This one hit well into left center field. Browning over on it, and Browning will make the catch right shy of the warning track. Tagging and scoring from third will be Smalling, and the Quakers tie the ball game at 1 apiece. But it was hit well enough by Piper, driving in his 15th run of the season. And I'll tell you what, that may have had a chance to get out of here if the wind's not blowing in from left field. Here's Krumloff. Then any ball that's going to be hit to left field is going to have a hard time getting out of here because of the wind, and I think that one held that one up. Elkis will stay at second, so 1 away here in the bottom of inning number 2. Krumloff at .303, a home run. He's driven in 9. So Earlham tying this game at 1 apiece. The stretch by Ritchie. He'll check the runner at second, and the pitch way outside, and that will get away from the catcher McCauley, and that'll be a wild pitch. So our first wild pitch of the ball game as the freshman will shake it up here in inning number 2. 1 ball and no strikes now to Krumloff. Now Earlham a chance to take the lead here in the bottom of the second inning. The stretch and the delivery. And that one will get away, but again, not a whole lot of room between home plate and the backstop. So it will not be a wild pitch, as Elkis will stay down at third, and he wisely stays at third base. And again, the way that ball can come back off the cement barrier that's behind us, there is some padding there, can still bounce back rather quickly as McCauley was able to play that one perfectly. So now let's see if Ritchie can come somewhere around the plate as a hitter. Krumloff knows he doesn't want to go to 3-0 right here, even though Dietz on deck has been struggling this year at 132. And the pitch low and inside, and he misses again. I don't think he's gotten that inside call yet. 3 balls and no strikes. And now we'll have time called as they'll have a visit to the mound, and the freshman again struggling here in the second inning. There's no activity right now in the Mount St. Joe bullpen. We mentioned a little bit ago, today is Earlham Day. It's a global event where alumni, parents, faculty, staff, and students from around the world will celebrate Earlham. Last year, over 1,100 Earlhamites participated in Earlham Day. You can also be a part of the fun and donate to Earlham Day, even if you can't be here. You can give now or at any time before midnight tonight to help them celebrate Earlham as a community. Just go to earlham.edu/alumni for more information. 3 balls, no strikes now to Krumloff. Earlham a chance to take the lead here in the bottom of the second inning. The pitch, and high and inside, it'll be the second walk. And now the Quakers have runners at first and third. And here's Drew Dietz.
Now batting is second baseman, number 11, Drew Dietz.
I mentioned Dietz still trying to find his stroke at the plate, hitting at only 132, no home runs and 2 runs driven in. They certainly like his defense and hoping maybe his bat will come alive. The pitch. He shows bunted, bunts it foul. So now Mount St. Joe will have to adjust. Do they bring Farmer and Kittle in on the corners, though Kittle pretty much going to have to stay where he is with a runner at first base. So if you're Drew Dietz, you're trying to push it to the right side. Ritchie gets the sign from McCauley, and he'll throw to first and throw it away. Run will score. Heading to second base will be Krumloff, and a throwing error by the pitcher Ritchie will give the Quakers the lead 2-1. That is exactly what we talked about in the pregame for the Quakers, is they put so much pressure on a pitcher on the base pass that your focus isn't so much on the hitter as it is the base runner, and that time Ritchie just simply threw it away. So the Quakers now lead it 2-1. Each team with an error. The stretch by Ritchie and the pitch on the way is a breaking ball back up the middle. The second baseman Schaefer is there. They'll throw to first in time, but boy, I tell you what, it's a good thing that Ritchie was through his motion, otherwise it might have taken his head off. Dietz hits it hard.
Stepping up to the plate,
Krumloff advancing to third. Here's Matt Barger. How would you like to have a ball club where your number 9 hitter is hitting .353? He has a home run. He's driven in 9. It's like having another leadoff hitter. Ritchie's pitch, and a good curveball in there for a strike. Well, you look back at right now the second inning, if Krumloff can score from third, 2 walks in the inning, both would come back to score. And boy, how important that is. Make sure you don't walk guys. Ground ball to the shortstop, Hoffman. He'll throw to first, and that will do it for the Quakers. But Earlham picks up 2 runs. We head to the third Earlham on top of this one, 2-1.
And leave one on base. Quakers lead 2-1.
There's a place in Richmond's Depot District that's better than being home. Little Sheba's is a lot like the bar in that 80s TV show where everybody knows your name. Come on down after the game on Fridays and join us for pizza. We're here till 11. Or grab some friends and come play live trivia Thursday nights at 6:30. If you love live music, Little Sheba's features some of the very best every weekend. Where else can you find this kind of variety, along with some of the best food and friends in town? Little Sheba's in Richmond's Depot District. It really is better than being home.
Hey, Chuck, where are you headed? Spinning's about to start.
I'm heading to CrossFit.
Isn't that for, like, the elite lifters or athletes only?
No, at FFW CrossFit, all workouts can and will be scaled to any ability level to welcome everyone.
Sounds great. I need to get out of the same old workout routine. I'm just not sure I can keep up. It seems pretty intense.
No real lifting experience is needed. FFW CrossFit teaches you everything you need to know and move at your own pace in a positive, motivating environment.
You know, I've always wanted to give it a try. I'll see you there.
Learn more at ffwcrossfit.com.
Well, back once again here at Randall R. Sadler Stadium, where the Quakers on top of this one, 2-1. Back to the top of the order for Mount St. Joe. It'll be Schaefer, Hoffman, and Browning. And for Walter Talcott, after falling down early, his offense coming back to score those 2 runs, and now a chance to go back to work. He has struck out 3 in the first 2 innings. Schaefer singled and scored the only run for Mount St. Joe in that first. He'll show a bunt and that breaking ball in there for a strike, and Walter not afraid to open up with a breaking pitch against the leadoff hitter. Schaefer, by the way, hit the first pitch he saw into left center field for a single. Walter looks in, gets the sign. Here's the pitch on the way. This one hit toward the second baseman off Dietz's glove. Does he still have time? Yes! Nice play at first. And Dietz able to stay with it and gets the play at first base. There's one away, and right now that would be the defensive play of the game this early. Dietz easily could have given up on that play. As Hoffman steps up, he singled his first time up. But Dietz, we'd mentioned in the last half inning that they certainly are hoping his bat will come alive, but his defense is certainly where it should be. So Hoffman, again, will step to the plate. 1 of 2 hits today for Mount St. Joe's. That pitch is inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Boy, Walter took care of the middle of the order in that first inning. Ground ball as that one jams him. Smalling off the carpet. Will throw to first, and there's 2 away. So with 2 outs, that'll bring up Browning.
Fielder number 10, Nick Browning.
Browning at .344, 2 home runs. He has driven in 16. Coming into this one here today, reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning. So Talcott ready to throw. The freshman right-hander in the first pitch, bouncing in front of Krumlock. And the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Well, we're expected to have a beautiful week of baseball, and boy, is it about time. It's been cold, and again, the snow that they had this past weekend. That one bouncing in the dirt as well, 2-0. Sure, from a player standpoint, they've been a little bit frustrated, but Coach Sack talked about that in the pregame, that when you play baseball in the Midwest, it's going to take a while to get spring where you would like it to be, and it generally ends up being halfway through your season unless you go south a lot. Here's the 2-0. This one lifting into left field, coming on and diving will be Barger, and he makes the catch, and that will do it. Nice play by Barger, and 2 excellent defensive plays for the Quakers here in the third. Quakers on top of this one, 2-1. This is Earlham Baseball and Radio Troy Digital Sport.
There's only one place to go on the World Wide Web to find the best automotive deals. Wetzelauto.com. One of the area's largest inventories all in one spot. Wetzelauto.com. Here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Wetzelauto.com. new and used vehicles, service, parts, body shop, and rental. Plus, value your trade. It's easy to navigate. It's convenient. WetSolano.com. It's clickin' awesome.
For over a century, Richmond Power and Light has been providing safe, reliable energy to the citizens and businesses of Richmond and the surrounding area. Through their dedicated and talented employees, Richmond Power and Light is advancing their tradition of exceptional service through new technology, training, and efficiency in everything they do. For more information on Richmond Power and Light, go to their website at rp-l.com. Richmond Power and Light. Together, we make powerful partners.
Well, the Quakers on top of this one, 2-1 again. We'll be back here tomorrow as Earlham will go non-conference play against Wabash. A 4 o'clock start time. We'll have it for you. 3:45 will be the pregame here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. But today, the Quakers looking to pick up their 19th win of the season, and more importantly, pick up win number 9 in the conference, and certainly keep an eye on what'll happen the rest of the week. They can pick up a half game today as Rose is idle today. Here's Thomas Ray, flew out his first time up. And Ritchie back in for another inning of work, and the right-hander's first pitch grounded toward the second baseman, Schaefer. And one pitch, one out here in the third. Here's Ethan Bailey. Bailey 0 for 1.
Now batting the right fielder, number 1, Ethan Bailey.
Bailey flew out to center field in the first inning. Well, Thomas Ray so far has only seen 3 pitches. That one caught the inside corner. That'll be the first for Ritchie today, as he's been working that inside corner consistently throughout the afternoon. No balls and a strike. The wind and the pitch, and that one low and outside. McCauley able to knock that one down. Count is even at 1-1. Friday we'll be back here for the single contest, and that'll be another 4 o'clock start time. Curveball stays high, 2-1. Quakers are not going to be back out on the road again until they travel to Bluffton on April the 26th. That's 2 weeks away. Pitches up high, 3 balls and a strike now to Bailey. I'm going to mention again after today, Wabash Defiance in for 3 this weekend. Here's the 3-1 delivery on the way. Popped him up. Shallow left center. Coming on will be Browning, the center fielder, and he'll make the catch, and there's 2 away. Here's Brennan Laird. Laird flew out to right field, his only time up. Well, the Quakers not able to run today, simply from the standpoint they can't get the top of the order on base. Quakers came in with 71 stolen bases. Brennan Laird has 22 stolen bases this year. There's a breaking pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Laird 22 of 24. Thomas Ray has 12. Nate Lynch with 10. Lynch not playing today because of the injury. That one's chopped foul. That's such an important part. In fact, I was looking at the statistics earlier today, and I don't have the exact number of the number 2 team in stolen bases, but Earlham leads that category by far. And Laird about ready to shatter several Earlham records, maybe even conference records in stolen bases if he keeps going the way he's going right now. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Quakers have only been caught 8 times stealing. That's another thing that's pretty incredible. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it's hit foul. We will stay at 1-2. When Lynch right now is your team's leading hitter at .408. Lynch had some injury problems last year, and as you heard Coach say in the pregame, they're hoping they'll get him back by this weekend, but They're playing for the long term, and that certainly is important. Here's the pitch on the way. It's up high once again. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Laird. Laird has walked a team-leading 15 times. Quakers have 94 walks on the season. Here's the pitch, and that one's hit well down the line. That's a fair ball. Will be extra bases as Laird will head to second with a stand-up double.
Laird with the stand-up double for the Quakers.
So the Quakers man on here in the third, and that'll bring up Brandon Smalling. Smalling walked and scored one of the 2 runs in that second inning, and for the Quakers, that is their second extra base hit of the ball game.
Now batting the third baseman, number 23, Brandon.
And for Brendan Laird, his 7th double, only second to Matt Barger, who has 10. So Smalling steps in. And the Quakers once again with a runner in scoring position. The stretch by Ritchie and the pitch grounded down the third base side and foul. No balls and a strike. Quakers now with 2 base hits. In fact, each team with 2 through the first 2 2/3 innings. Smalling just an RBI behind Eric Elkis for the team lead. Laird with a lead down at second. The pitch on the way to the plate is a breaking ball that stays high and inside. Count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Earlham right now leading at 2-1, trying to make this a 3-1 game right here, and Smalling again swinging a much better bat than he was earlier in the year, but that one low in the dirt and took a wild cut and falls by at 1-2. Eric Elkis on deck, 25 runs driven in. You go 24, 24, 25 in the middle of that order. Even your number 2 man, Ethan Bailey, with 19 RBI. And that one comes inside and hit him on the hand, and Elkis. And now the umpire stopping Elkis. They're going to go ahead and check his hand. I do believe now it was a hard hit, but Elkis says, look at my hand. Smalling taking a look at his hand as Elkis waiting to come to the plate, and now there is Steve Sakis that's coming out, and I think they're going to make him come back. So that's no more than a foul ball as that hit off the end of the bat, apparently, according to the umpire. Will stay 1 ball and 2 strikes. So we will come back, and again, Smalling 2 away here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And now Ritchie back into the stretch. He'll check the runner at second. And the pitch on the way, swing and a miss. And that will do it for the Quakers here in the 3rd. They'll leave a man on. And we will head to inning number 4. Quakers on top of this one, 2-1. This is Earlham Baseball on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Maybe you haven't heard, but there's a place in Richmond's Depot District that's better than being home. Little Sheba's is a lot like the bar in that 80s TV show Cheers. You know, where everybody knows your name. Come on down after the game on Fridays and join us for pizza. We're here till 11. Or grab some of your friends and try out a game of live trivia Thursday nights at 6:30. If you love live music, Little Sheba's features some of the very best every weekend. Where else are you going to find this kind of variety, along with some of the best food and friends in town? Little Sheba's in Richmond's Depot District. It really is better than being home.
Back once again here at Randall R. Sadler Stadium on the campus of Earlham College. Mitch Blancaspor is the sports information director here at Earlham, and he's had a busy day. In fact, you probably got started pretty early today with Earlham Day, right?
Yeah, definitely a pretty exciting day here to be on campus as Earlhamites all over the world and country gather. But again, nice to have this baseball contest here welcoming Mount St. Joseph to beautiful Sadler Stadium. A bit brisk here in Richmond, Indiana. But I just wanted to point out this Mount St. Joe team off to one of the better starts in school history. Started 11-1 and receiving votes in the top 25 poll for D3 baseball. Since been a little bit tougher roads, 5-7 in the conference. But again, Troy, as I've said before, this is a really good conference. I mean, any team can win this conference, and maybe that's not said about some other sports in the Heartland, but baseball is really arguably this conference's strongest sport. You can have 2 or 3 teams in the NCAA tournament any given year.
And you've got about 7, almost 8 teams right now still battling for a playoff spot, and here's one of the better players. This is Farmer, and the first pitch is inside for a ball.
Also against one of the better pitchers, Walter Talcott, off to, as I'm sure you mentioned, throughout the first couple innings, off to a great start. ERA just under 1 in 40 innings pitched. The former McCutcheon player in the North Central Conference. I'm sure you've called a Richmond High School baseball game or two where Walter was the opposition. Now it's good to have him on our side this time, right?
Well, unfortunately for me, we've only been in that conference for 2 years, and I think every time we played up there, so I haven't seen him up until today. The 2-0 pitch hit well, and that'll be a base hit in left field.
Yep, you could tell that was kind of a hanging off-speed pitch there from Talcott, and Farmer, one of the best hitters in the conference, 32 RBIs. I think that's top 3 in the league for sure. For the Lions, getting on base, leadoff runner on.
Here's Hunter. Hunter struck out looking his first time up. Well, I'm impressed so far with Walter giving up what could have been even more than 1 run in that first inning, and the way he kind of battled back, and he got the middle of the order, and he struck out Farmer and Hunter to get himself out of the inning. That's pretty tough to do for a freshman.
Definitely.
Fly ball center field. And waiting for that one is Laird. He'll make the catch in. Farmer back to first and 1 away here in the 4th. And one thing that I've noticed, and again, maybe this is kind of the strategy today for Mount St. Joe as Pash will step to the plate. They've been swinging a lot of first pitches by Talcott, so I'm assuming they think he's going to always throw a first pitch fastball.
Yeah, definitely. Talcott's coming off of his last 2 starts have been complete games against the Bluffton Beavers on the road. One a 6-0 shutout victory, the other 6-1 complete game. This first off-speed pitch going to be a little drop there by Krumloff, but he'll recover and keep Farmer at first base. But Talcott, I think Coach Sack would tell you, probably one of his most polished pitchers he's seen as a freshman.
Yeah.
Can throw 3 or 4 pitches for a strike any time. Not really the tallest guy, but I think he's got pretty good mechanics and throws has a decent zip on his fastballs. We see a pickoff attempt there to first base, and Elkis dropped the ball there. So we've had last 2 times the ball's been thrown, Quakers unable to catch it, but Mount St. Joe has yet to make him pay.
Yeah, you're right. He's not a big fella. The right-hander, as you mentioned, though a very good fastball. Here's the stretch and the pitch, and that one up in the strike zone, and Tyler Pash takes a cut and hits it foul. 1 ball and 1 strike, and I guess you kind of call it a more of a sneaky fastball, right?
Agreed,
I mean, because it has some movement on it when you watch it.
No, 100% agree. He's not a guy that you're going to look at on the mound before you see him pitch and look, this guy's going to blow by me.
His location has been very good today as that pitch a little bit off the mark, 2-1.
In fact, I'd say the only pitcher in the league that I've seen thus far, Troy, that really does that is Carson Nixon from Rose Holman, stands about 6'6".
Yeah.
He looks intimidating on the mound. But Walter, again, has numbers that are arguably better, than the reigning most valuable pitcher of the conference.
2 balls and a strike, and that pitch stays inside, 3-1, and this might be the first time he has thrown 3-1 on the day, and it is. He has thrown very few pitches, and that's something that Coach Sack talked about more than once this year. He just doesn't throw a whole lot of pitches, and he'll get a lot of bat outs, and certainly around the strike zone quite a bit. Here's your 3-1 pitch, and this one hit well toward Ray. He'll take it on the hop. There's one there to first, double play. And that'll do it for Mount St. Joe. We'll head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Quakers on top of this one, 2-1.
Maybe you haven't heard, but there's a place in Richmond's Depot
1 ball and 2 strikes now to Ethan Bailey. I'll take that back. Brennan Laird again. 1 ball and 1 strike. Laird, a slow roller to the third baseman Farmer. He can't make the play. And here is Smalling. So Laird will pick up his second base hit, then an infield single. And Smalling 0 for 1. He strikeout victim his last time up. Again, 2 away as we play here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And the throw to first not in time. And again, we mentioned, wow, they did get him as they make the play at first. And that'll get an argument from head coach Steve Sakasitz. It looked like from here that he got back in time. But for the Quakers, they come up empty here in the bottom of the 5th inning. We will head to inning number 6. Quakers on top of this one, 2-1. This is Earlham Baseball and Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Our new cabinets on your wish list? Visit the new Georgia Direct showroom and see the great variety of cabinets on display in a modern setting. Georgia Direct carries quality craft-made one cabinets, and the new showroom has plenty of styles and colors on display. In Richmond, craft-made one is only available at Georgia Direct, where the designers are always on hand to help create a custom kitchen for your home. Visit Georgia Direct's new showroom on 40 East, next to Red Lobster. You'll love what you see, and you'll love the savings at Georgia Direct.
Mancino's Pizza and Grinders, the very best in pizza and grinders. We use only the highest quality meats, cheeses, and vegetables. It's impossible not to taste the difference. Every morning we bake our bread to ensure our customers the sandwiches. Mancino's offers more than grinders. They also have fantastic specialty pizzas and salads. Stop by for lunch, dinner, or after the game. Mancino's, 217 National Road West in Richmond. The taste of quality you expect.
Head of the 6th inning. It'll be the top of the order now for Mount St. Joe's. Will go Schaefer, Hoffman, and Browning. Schaefer 1 for 2, a run scored. He singled back in the first inning. Walter has given up just 1 base hit through the last 4 innings. He's gone essentially 1, 2, and 3 from the 2nd through the 5th, and Talcott's first pitch is up high for a ball. Talcott gets the side again from Krumloff, and the pitch is up high, 2 balls and no strikes. We thought maybe from a standpoint of how this game might go, that it's going to go to the low end of scoring here. Pitch inside. Quakers win today. They'll win the series. They'll have won the first 2 games. They'll play this team again next week, and it's kind of a weird way the whole thing is scheduled where Mount St. Joe has to come here again. 3 balls and no strikes. Now to the leadoff hitter, Schaefer. So far, no walks given up by Talcott. And that's right down the middle for strike 1. And once again, Schaefer taking all the way. Here's your 3-1 pitch. Popped him up left side. Going out will be Thomas Ray coming in the center field. And Ray, and almost a collision with Laird, who was coming from behind. I think Laird had called him off. And Ray makes the catch. And there's 1 out. And that'll bring up Hoffman.
With 1 out, now batting number 9, Matt Hoffman.
Hoffman 1 for 2. He singled his last time up. Should say back in the first inning, he's 1 for 2. He grounded out in the 3rd. And Walter's first pitch on the way is inside for a ball. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Bunt laid down, third base side, and foul. So 1 ball and 1 strike now to Hoffman. We go back to the first inning of Mount St. Joe. The way that they got started, you thought this might be a long day for Talcott. But boy, the way he has settled down now. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Caught that outside corner. Great pitch. And Hoffman now down to the count of 1-2. Not going to be a factor, it appears, the rest of the way here today. Talcott gets the sign again from Krumloff. There's the lay kick and the pitch, and got him. Heck of a pitch again by Talcott. And now 2 away here in the 6th inning. That'll bring up Browning.
With 2 away, now batting the center fielder, number 10, Nick Browning.
Browning is 0 for 2. He lined out his last time up back in the 3rd. Four strikeouts now on the day for the right-hander Talcott. And the pitch, inside corner for strike 1. Browning came in at 344. Three base hits, all have been singles. Off the right-hander Talcott. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Boy, another good breaking pitch. And all of a sudden, Browning down on the count at no balls and 2 strikes. Talcott with the delivery on the way, got him swinging. It'll be a strikeout throwout as Krumloff will step out and throw to first. But 2 strikeouts in the inning, and that'll do it for Mount St. Joe's. We will head to the bottom half of inning number 6. And the Quakers on top of this one, 2-1. This is Earlham Baseball and Radio Troy Digital Sports.
The dealership where I bought my car told me I needed new tires. So, of course, I stopped by Best One and asked Roger to take a look. So they checked it out, and he told me not yet. He said I was good for at least another 10,000 miles. I've always gotten an honest opinion at Best One, and so will you.
Hi, I'm Roger Clark at Best One Tire and Service. We'll only sell you tires when you need new tires, and they'll be the right tires for your car or truck. I guarantee it.
Best One Tire and Service, North 7th and A, Uptown Richmond.
Are you looking for a quality used car you can trust to take you where you want to go? Stop at Tony's Car Sales at 250 National Road West. Tony's has a top-of-the-line selection of low-mileage, one-owner cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs, all handpicked by Mike and Adrian Parker. Tony's is family-owned with 3 generations and 60 years of experience. Check out their selection at Tony'sCarsales.com or at 250 National Road West. Tony's Car Sales, where honesty, quality, and price sell cars.
Hey, just a reminder, today is Earlham Day. Earlham Day is a global event where alumni, parents, faculty, staff, and students from around the world celebrate Earlham. Last year, there were over 1,100 Earlhamites that participated in Earlham Day. You can give now or any time before midnight tonight to help everyone celebrate Earlham as a community. Just go to earlham.edu/alumni for more information. Here's Brandon Smalling. Smalling struck at his last time up. That was back in the 3rd inning. Smalling has scored one of the 2 runs here this afternoon. Just a 2-1 ball game. These 2 teams went 10-7 in their first meeting. And Ritchie so far having his best outing, I would imagine, of the year. He throws that one in there for a strike. His ERA well above 5 coming into this one here this afternoon. The wind and the pitch, and the breaking ball caught the outside corner. And Ritchie quickly had no balls and 2 strikes. Here's your 0-2. Popped up fouling out of play. Smalling coming in at 337 on the season. After a slow start, as Ritchie gets the sign from McCauley, the pitch is outside for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch on the way, got him in the dirt. Catcher McCauley will step out and throw a low throw to first. But another strikeout throw out. There's one away, and here's Elkis. Doubled back in the second inning. The Quakers again with just 2 hits. And both again extra base hits. Here's the pitch by Ritchie, and that one over the head of Elkis. So 1 ball and no strikes. They have a little shift going on right now as Elkis will take that pitch. Blowing outside, 2-0. The second baseman, Schaefer's now playing behind second base. And they're playing deep at short with Hoffman and Farmer, so they know he's a pull hitter. And you don't see this very often in college baseball. Popped him up left side. Hoffman, the third baseman, Farmer, and Farmer's going to make the play, though, and that probably was Hoffman's ball. So 2 away, and here's Joe Piper. Piper hit by a pitch his last time. Back in the 4th inning, he is 0 for 1. So 2 away as Piper steps in, and the breaking pitch stays high and inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Ritchie set to throw, and that pitch low and outside. And quickly 2-0. Go back and say Earlham actually has 3 base hits. It was an infield single by Brandon Laird back in the 5th inning as that one gets by McCauley. And it's now 3-0. Piper an RBI here today as well. I mentioned Ritchie making his 7th start of the year. And a 4-pitch walk given up now to Piper, and that'll bring up Krumloff. So the Quakers have a man on here in the 6th inning.
At bat, the catcher, number 5, Cody Krumloff.
Krumloff 0 for 1, a walk back in inning number 2. And you look at the numbers by Ritchie coming in, again, an ERA of 5.63. 19 strikeouts and 17 walks. This would, again, be imagining in my wisdom that I have, it's his best one so far, as this one's a fly ball to center field. Browning there. He'll make the catch, and that will do it for the Quakers here in the 6th inning. We will head to the top of the 7th. Quakers on top of this one, 2-1. This is Earlham Baseball and Radio Troy Digital Sports.
There are banks that are big, and then there's West End Bank. A bank with big ideas to help people, business, and industry. If you're just starting out on your own and want a new car, West End can help. Maybe it's your first home and you need advice on financing. West End Bank has ideas to help you. West End Bank, helping build better lives and a better community. West End Bank is a community bank with big ideas and home to a distinctive style of banking. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Reynolds Plumbing, the area's leader in residential and commercial plumbing. Fast, friendly, 24-hour emergency service. You name it, they can fix it. Whether it's installation, remodeling, sump pumps, well pumps, water heaters, or sewer camera service, they now have service on heating and air conditioning. Give them a call at 966-0994 for free estimates. Reynolds Plumbing, 198 South 2nd Street in Richmond.
Students, the Earlham College Alumni Council is happy to support you in many ways, like working at career events and providing funding for student summer research with faculty. It won't be long until you're alumni yourselves, so look for them when they're on campus. They're one of your best resources for information about life after Earlham.
A low-scoring game going on here this afternoon as we head to the 7th. Farmer, Hunter, and Pash as the Lions trying to get things going offensively. Farmer has a base hit to his credit in the 4th. This is, again, one of the more dangerous hitters you'll see in the conference. Farmer struck at his first time up back in inning number 1. This is a guy that can hurt you at any time, though, so Walter will have to be careful. Here's the pitch. And got him outside again, and he's going to continue to work outside against Farmer. No balls and a strike. Talcott gets the sign, the wide, and the pitch, and he goes outside again. And the count even at 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball stays up high, 2-1. Four strikeouts again by Talcott today. We'll love to get 5 right here. Ground ball toward the second baseman, Dietz. He will field and throw, and there's one away. Talcott will take that as well. Here's Hunter. Hunter 0 for 2.
With one out, now batting the right fielder, number 6, Nathan Hunter.
Hunter struck out looking back in the first inning, flew out in the 4th. And the pitch on the way, a good breaking pitch. And Hunter quickly behind it 0-1. Not a single walk on the day so far for Talcott. We'll take that back. He had a strikeout throwout in the 6th inning, so he actually has 5 strikeouts and a cut by Hunter and a miss. And so far, other than that first inning where he had the 2 hits by Schaefer and Hoffman hit well, the Lions have really not had any good looks at Talcott so far as that pitch low and away, 1-2. And this youngster right here quickly becoming the best pitcher on this staff. And we mentioned his ERA well under 1 coming into today's start. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way, and a breaking ball got him. Strikeout number 6. And that'll bring up Pash.
With 2 down, now batting the designated hitter, number 24, Tyler Pash.
Pash is 0 for 2 today, hit into a 6-4-3 double play back in the 4th inning. And Walter feeling it right now as he attacks the hitter and a ground ball to Elkis. Elkis fumbles it, and an error on Elkis, which should have been a routine ground ball. Elkis was maybe getting a little bit of a hurry there, trying to make sure he gloved that baseball, and knowing that Talcott was coming over to cover the bag, just overran it a little bit.
Now batting number 5, Ryan McCauley.
Here's McCauley. So the Quakers commit their 2nd error. McCauley's 0 for 2. So now Walter will work on the number 7 hitter in the order, and he opens up with a breaking ball low and inside, 1-0. Quakers get the much-needed win here today, 19 wins. They're looking for 3 years in a row in which they'll go plus 20. That one jams him, and he hits it foul to the right. Recently, the program picked up their 700th win in college baseball. Steve Saka sits passing the 100 win mark this year as well. The stretch and the 1-1 pitch, and that over the head of McCauley, and that will be a wild pitch. First wild pitch of the day now by Talcott. 2 balls and a strike, and now the Lions have a man in scoring position. McCauley at 326 coming in with 9 runs driven in. Let's see if Walter can put him away here. Popped him up fouling out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to McCauley. Both bullpens are quiet right now with the way that Ritchie and Talcott are throwing. 2-2 now to McCauley as the right-handed hitter steps in, and Talcott ready to go to work. The pitch. And right down the middle, and McCauley caught looking, and I'm not sure what he was looking for right there. That was a beautiful pitch. 7 strikeouts now for Talcott, and we will head to the bottom half of inning number 7, and the Quakers on top of this one, 2-1.
Hey, Chuck, where you headed? Spinning's about to start.
I'm heading to CrossFit.
Isn't that for, like, the elite lifters or athletes only?
No, at FFW CrossFit, all workouts can and will be scaled to any ability level to welcome everyone.
Sounds great. I need to get out of the same old workout routine. I'm just not sure I can keep up. It seems pretty intense.
No real lifting experience is needed. FFW CrossFit teaches you everything you need to know and move at your own pace in a positive, motivating environment.
You know, I've always wanted to give it a try. I'll see you there.
Learn more at ffwcrossfit.com.
There's a place in Richmond's Depot District that's better than being home. Little Sheba's is a lot like the bar in that 80s TV show where everybody knows your name. Come on down after the game on Fridays and join us for pizza. We're here till 11. Or grab some friends and come play live trivia Thursday nights at 6:30. If you love live music, Little Sheba's features some of the very best every weekend. Where else can you find this kind of variety along with some of the best food and friends in town? Little Sheba's in Richmond's Depot District. It really is better than being home.
Well, we have a good one going here as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Quakers on top 2-1. It looks like we may have a new pitcher as Ben Frizzle will come in, a sophomore out of Cincinnati. So, right-hander steps in, and again, good solid 6 innings by the starter in this one, Ritchie. So we'll see our first pitching change of the day. Let's see if we can find you some numbers on the right-hander. .84 ERA. This is in 9th appearance, 6 1/3 innings. Giving up 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 5 strikeouts, and a couple of walks. So not a whole lot of innings by the right-hander, Ben Frizzle. Here's Drew Dietz. Dietz to lead it off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And the first pitch in there for strike, 0-1. Dietz sacrificed his last time at the plate. And a little sidearm action that time caught the outside corner. And it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes. Dietz, Barger, and Rays. We go 8, 9, and 1 in the order, and he'll reach out and poke that one foul. And we'll stand no balls and 2 strikes as we play here in the bottom half of inning number 7. Huge series coming up Friday and Saturday after the non-conference game tomorrow. Does he go around? They say no. So we will stay at 1 and 2. Dietz grounded out back in the 2nd, and again a sacrifice in the 4th. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Fly ball right field. Hunter a few steps to his left, and he will make the catch. And there's one away. And with one away, here's Matt Barger, the number 9 hitter.
With one out, now batting the left fielder, number 20.
Barger 0 for 2.
Barger.
The pitch on the way, lined in left field, base hit. So Barger makes the big turn, and he's going to go for 2. The throw is dropped on the relay, and Barger in with a double. Nice. Boy, I tell you what, I was surprised Corbett in left field got to that ball pretty quickly. And Barger never stopped running once he rounded the bag at first, and now here's Thomas Ray looking for his first base hit. Thomas 0 for 3 today. And now Frizzle, the right-hander, giving up his first base hit. Works into the stretch. Here's the pitch, and it's inside for a ball. Thomas has been swinging early. Mentioned he only had an 0-1 pitch in his first at-bat. He swung at the first ball in the third, and then the second pitch in the fifth inning. So he's been going after those pitches early in the count. The stretch and the 1-0 pitch. Low and inside, McCauley able to knock it down. Base runner will not advance. And it's quickly 2 balls and no strikes. Right-hander again will check the runner at second. Here's the pitch, and it's high and outside, 3-0. Three balls and no strikes now to Ray, the Quaker leadoff hitter. 2-1 ball game. Quakers need some insurance runs right here. Here's the pitch on the way, and he was taking, and that's ball 4. So now the Quakers have runners at first and second, and that'll bring up Ethan Bailey.
Now batting for right fielder, number 1, Ethan Bailey.
So now the Quakers runners at first and second as Bailey steps to the plate. He's 0 for 2 today. Here's the stretch by Frizzle and the pitch, and that one got him. That one barely skimmed him. We saw earlier today that Brandon Smalling, we thought he got hit on the hand, and they brought him back, and that one caught just a tiny piece of his jersey. And that will bring a further discussion for the home plate umpire. Boy, and if you're Mount St. Joe, you're right in this ball game, and you don't want this one to slip away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Base is now loaded, and this guy right here swinging a hot bat, that's Brendan Laird. And now a visit to the mound. This will give the bullpen a chance to get going a little bit. We mentioned this young man right here, just not a whole lot of innings. And it's tough to do if you've only thrown 6 innings. You got the first out, but then you're thrown into a close ball game like this at 2-1. And you're facing the number 1 offensive team in the HCAC in just about every major category that there is. And you're down 2-1, and now you have the bases loaded for the number 3 hitter in Brendan Laird, who has a couple of hits today. Not a good situation.
Now batting for center fielder, number 17, Brendan Laird.
So Laird will step to the plate. We want an opportunity right here for the Quakers to really add to that 2-1 lead. A breaking pitch in there for a strike. Laird picked up a double back in the 3rd inning, an infield base hit in the 5th. He has Barger at third, Ray at second, and Bailey at first. Plenty of speed on the base paths right now for the Quakers. Here's the pitch. And reaching and swinging and missing. And Laird down at 0-2. And Brennan knew that was a pitch that certainly was on the border. Could have been a pitch he could have maybe taken to right field. So now he's down at 0-2. Let's see what the right-hander Frizzle will do right now. He has that sidearm delivery, and the pitch on the way hit foul. Good cut by Laird. And we will stay at no balls and 2 strikes. This will be the first time that the Quakers have had the bases loaded. And Laird will call time. We'll see Brennan do that quite often, just try to break up the rhythm a little bit of the opposing pitcher, and a chance to get him off his mark a little bit. So now Laird back in, Frizzle ready to throw, and the pitch on the way, and it's low for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Quakers only 2 runs coming way back in the second inning. Long look this time by the right-hander from Mount St. Joe, gets the sign from McCauley. The pitch on the way, popped up foul. Another good cut by Laird. We will stay at 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the base is loaded here in the bottom half of inning number 7, and just 1 out. That was Dietz, the first hitter of the inning. The pitch on the way, and he'll chop that one foul, and that caught a piece of the home plate umpire. Caught him on the left hand. It's also an opportunity for the catcher, McCauley, to go out to talk to his right-hander. They'll give him, again, the umpire a little time to recover. It's a freebie now for McCauley, the catcher. We will stay at 1-2. Barger at third, Ray at second. Again, Bailey's at first. Let's try it again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the stretch and the pitch on the way. That one comes inside, and that definitely hits him on the hand. Barger will cross the plate, and the Quakers now lead this one 3-1. The one thing you don't like to see about that is when a hitter gets hit on the hand, is how that will certainly affect. We've seen a lot of guys get hit on the hand and eventually may break a bone in that hand. And here is Brandon Smalling. So 2 straight batters being hit.
At the plate, number 23, Brandon Smalling.
Another visit to the mound, and Malik Zuberi down in the bullpen, and that guy hasn't thrown a ton of innings either. So Mount St. Joe gambling right now with some inexperience on the mound, and it's cost him right here. Quakers lead at 3-1, and Smalling will step to the plate. Smalling has struck out twice today, but now he has the bases loaded with 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Here's the stretch once again. The right-hander delivers. This one hit foul, and that'll play to the right. So no balls and a strike. Quakers can really open things up here today in the way that Talcott is pitching today. A 2-run lead may be just enough, but boy, you'd certainly like to make sure. Here's the pitch. Boy, that was a nice changeup that time, and Smalling out in front. Now he's down at 0-2. Quakers scoring their first run since inning number 2, and a chance to add to it. Ray at third, Bailey at second, Laird at first, and those are the top 3 guys in the order, and they can run. The stretch and the pitch, and another breaking ball. Shallow center, coming on is Browning. They'll tag at third. Browning will make the catch. Here's the throw to the plate. It's off the mark, and a throw to third, and not in time there as well. So Thomas Ray will score. The Quakers now lead this one 4-1. Nice base running for the Quakers. And Smalling able to drive in his 25th run of the season.
Now batting number 19, Eric Elka.
Here's Elk. So now a 4-1 game in Elkis, doubled back in the second inning. They will not shift this time as the second baseman Schaefer stays on the right side. The stretch and the pitch, and it's a called strike. Runners now at second and third. The stretch and the pitch. Hit well and foul as that went into the bullpen. Tell you what, Elk has jumped all over that pitch. So now no balls and 2 strikes. Time will be called as Elkis steps away. Team leading 25 runs driven in. Now Smalling ties him in that category. Bailey down at third, Laird at second. The pitch on the way and got him swinging on the outside. The catcher, McCauley, will have to throw to first, and that'll be a strikeout throwout of Elkis. But the Quakers pick up 2 runs in the inning. We will head now to the 8th. Quakers on top of this one, 4-1.
There's only one place to go on the World Wide Web to find the best automotive deals. Wetzelauto.com. One of the area's largest inventories all in one spot. Wetzelauto.com. Here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Wetzelauto.com. New and used vehicles, service, parts, body shop, and rental. Plus, value your trade. It's easy to navigate. It's
0111.
Earlhamites, staying connected with the college is easy thanks to your alumni office. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, access the alumni directory on Earlham's online portal, read the Earlhamite magazine, and visit us online. We're here for you. Go Quakers!
Well, now the right-hander for the Quakers, Walter Talcott, has a 3-run cushion heading into the 8th inning. Kittle, Corbett, and Schaefer all due up as we will go 8, 9, and 1. So Mount St. Joe gambling that their inexperience on the mound would pay off in their bullpen, and it did not. There's a swing and a miss. Kittle 0 for 2 tonight. Mentioned the bullpen pitcher, Frizzle, only had 6 innings coming in. Now 0-2 now to Kittle. And so it backfired for Mount St. Joe in that inning. You'd have thought maybe we could have seen Matt Hoffman 4 saves. Try to at least keep it close. Hit foul. And we'll stay at 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes now to Kittle. Right-hander still throwing in the Mount St. Joe bullpen. Well, I'll tell you what, heck of a pitch right there, and Kittle caught looking. That is the 8th strikeout now for Talcott.
With one out.
And here's Jordan Corbett.
Jordan Corbett.
Corbett was a strikeout victim back in the second and grounded out in the fifth inning. The pitch on the way is a ground ball towards Smalling. He'll take it on the hop. The throw to first. A low throw dug out by Elkis. And there's 2 away. And that'll bring up Schaefer.
With 2 away, now batting the second baseman, number 3, Simon Schaefer.
Schaefer 1 for 3, a single back in the first inning. He has scored the only run for Mount St. Joe here this afternoon. They're going to play him. In fact, Bailey moving a little bit closer to right field, or I should say the right field line. And the fast pitch, fastball in there for strike, should say. There's 1 away. Or I should say 0-1. We'll get it right. Schaefer grounded out in the third. He also flew out in the sixth inning. Talcott will shake off the sign. Now here is the 0-1 pitch. Ground ball right side. Base hit down the line. Bailey quickly gets to it. Schaefer rounding first. He'll head to second with a sliding double, and they played him that way, but he went right down the line past Elkis at first. So a 2-out double now for Schaefer, and here's Hoffman.
Now batting the shortstop, number 9, Matt Hoffman.
So Hoffman steps up. He's 1 for 3. That is their first base hit since Farmer singled in the fourth. And that is only their 4th base hit overall. Talcott into the stretch and the pitch. It's low for a ball. Quakers have no one throwing in the bullpen. Talcott also leads this team in saves because he's been just about everything to this pitching staff so far. 3 saves. Swing and a miss. Boy, back on the outside, Hoffman went fishing and came up empty, 1-1. 2 away here in the top of the 8th inning. The stretch again by Talcott. Another nice breaking pitch, apparently low and outside. Looked pretty good from here, 2-1. Hoffman coming in at 284 on the year. The stretch once again by Talcott. The pitch on the way, and that's a called strike. Count is even at 2-2 now to Hoffman. Long look this time by Talcott. Now gets the sign. The runner down at second is Schaefer, and time will be called now by Hoffman. You really had to figure that was going to happen, as Talcott taking too much time getting the sign. If Walter can get the final out here in the 8th inning. The stretch and the break-even pitch on the way, and it's low and outside. We'll go full count. So far for Talcott, not a single walk on the day. And he's only gone 3-2, maybe twice. And this is the second time on the afternoon. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a runner at second. Walter with the pitch, and got him looking on the outside corner. Boy, Hoffman didn't like the call, but probably too close to watch, and that'll be strikeout number 9 on the day by Talcott, and more importantly, gets the Quakers out of any threat in the 8th inning. We will head to the bottom half of inning number 8. Quakers on top of this one, 4-1.
Now let's go
Jiffy
back
Lube of Richmond features the Jiffy Lube Signature Service Oil Change. As much as you paid for your vehicle, keep it on the road as long as possible. The Jiffy Lube Signature Service Oil Change is more than an oil change. It's preventative maintenance to keep your car running smoothly. Jiffy Lube, 2993 East Main in Richmond. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, and Saturday, 8 to 5. Hitters Hangout Academy has everything you need to train year-round to become a better player. They offer everything from cage rentals to private lessons and specialized classes. They offer hitting, infield play, outfield play, catching, pitching, strength, and agility for baseball and softball players alike. Their goal is to leave players with a better understanding of the game and to learn why they do certain things, and as always, play the game the right way. For more information, go to their website, hittershangoutacademy.com.
Well, the third pitcher used now by Mount St. Joe, as they will be going with Malik Zuberi. Zuberi at 9.53 ERA. This is going to be his 12th appearance. He's only thrown 11 in the third innings, giving up 15 hits, 14 runs, 12 of those earned. 10 strikeouts and 9 walks. So Mount St. Joe, their second pitch out of the bullpen, and neither one of those guys had some very good numbers, though I know that Ben Frizzle had a 2.84, but he only thrown 6 in the third innings coming in. So the Lions gambling with their bullpen, it did not pay off, and we'll see if now their next new pitcher can work the Quakers here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Piper, Krumloff, and Dietz are all due up. Check here real quick and see Zuberi is from Cincinnati, a junior. So here's Piper stepping to the plate. Piper today was hit by pitch back in the 4th inning. He also walked, I should say, in the 6th inning. He flew out back in inning number 2. His 4th plate appearance of the day, and the first pitch is up high for a ball. Zuberi into the stretch and the pitch, and misses low and inside. 2 balls and no strikes. If you're Mount St. Joe right now, you know that you cannot let another run scored with Talcott throwing. There is a right-hander throwing in the Earlham bullpen. We'll see if that's just a chance now to get a right-hander ready in case. Pitch is up high, 3-0. And not even close to the strike zone so far for the right-hander. Earlham again looking for win number 19, and this will be the 9th win in the conference if it all holds up. Here's the pitch, and it's up high for ball 4 straight. That'll be the second walk for Piper, and here's Cody Krumloff.
Now batting the catcher, number 5, Cody Krumloff.
Cody 0 for 2 on the walk that happened back in the 2nd inning.
Pitch running at first for the Quakers, number 10, Kevin Spurgeon.
By the way, Spurgeon will now pinch run at first base. So Devin Spurgeon at first. Krumloff will step to the plate. He'll show bunt, and the runner takes off. The throw down to second, not in time, and that'll be a stolen base by Spurgeon. One ball and no strikes. Now to Cody Krumloff. And Earlham a chance to add another run here in the bottom of the 8th inning. First baseman Kittle coming in, and also the third baseman Farmer. Stepper 2 in front of the bag. Here's the stretch and the pitch, high and outside. And boy, right now it's to be frustrating for Mount St. Joe. 2 balls and no strikes now to Krumloff. Spurgeon down at second base. Quakers on top 4-1. The stretch. And the pitch. That's a called strike. By the way, if Talcott finishes today, it'll be his 3rd complete game of the year. Boy, for a freshman, he's putting up some pretty impressive numbers. You can just imagine what he'll be like over the next 3 years. Time called as Spurgeon gets good lead down at second. 2 balls and a strike now to Krumloff. The stretch again by Zuberi as he checks the runner at second, and here's the pitch. Ground ball toward the shortstop, Hoffman. And he'll throw on to first and get the out there. So 1 away, and here's Dietz.
With 1 out, now batting the second baseman, number 11.
Well, Dietz 0 for 2, a sacrifice back in the 4th. Zuberi gets the first out here in the 8th inning as the right-hander set to throw once again. Spurgeon the lead at second. And the pitch on the way comes inside, and McCauley saves a wild pitch. So 1 ball and no strikes now to Dietz. Dietz, one of several players in both these teams out of Hamilton, Ohio. Boy, I tell you what a baseball town Hamilton is. The stretch and the 1-0 delivery. Ground ball chopper toward the third baseman, Farmer, and he'll take that foul. Handles even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Game that is just over 2 hours here at Randall R. Sadler, but for Earlham, they don't mind at all as long as they walk out of here with another home win and another series win. And it would make them, again, only a half game behind Rose in the HCAC standings. But Rose right now has at least a slight advantage with only 2 league losses going into this week's action. Again, they're not playing tonight. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hoffman behind the runner at second. Now the throw down, and they got him. Well, Spurgeon got too far off that time, and it wasn't the shortstop, Hoffman. It was Schaefer who came over and laid on the tag. So 2 away. And now the right-hander can work on Drew Dietz. Here's the stretch and the pitch, and that one almost getting Dietz. 2-1. Quakers 2 runs in the second, 2 more in the 7th. Those are 2 big runs. Matt Barger getting a double, and of course, Mount St. Joe's pitching didn't help them at all. The delivery on the way, grounded foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I want to mention again, today being Earlham Day, you can participate by donating by midnight tonight at earlham.edu/alumni. Another one hit foul. Earlham Day is a global event where all the alumni, parents, faculty, staff, and students from around the world celebrate Earlham. Last year, over 1,100 participated, and you can do it again. Again, go to earlham.edu/alumni for more information. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the stretch and the pitch. It's up high, 3-2. Earlham making the most out of the 5 hits they've managed here tonight to go along with those 4 runs. And that caught the outside corner, and Dietz knew it. And that will do it for the Quakers here in the 8th inning. Chance to wrap it up as we head to the 9th. And Earlham on top of this one, 4-1.
Richmond Power and Light has been providing safe, reliable energy to the citizens and businesses of Richmond and the surrounding area. Through their dedicated and talented employees, Richmond Power and Light is advancing their tradition of exceptional service through new technology, training, and efficiency in everything they do. For more information on Richmond Power and Light, go to their website at rp-l.com. Richmond Power and Light. Together, we make powerful partners.
Maybe you haven't heard, but there's a place in Richmond's Depot District that's better than being home. Little Sheba's is a lot like the bar in that 80s TV show Cheers. You know, where everybody knows your name. Come on down after the game on Fridays and join us for pizza. We're here till 11. Or grab some of your friends and try out a game of live trivia Thursday nights at 6:30. If you love live music, Little Sheba's features some of the very best every weekend. Where else are you going to find this kind of variety, along with some of the best food and friends in town? Little Sheba's in Richmond's Depot District. It really is better than being home.
Well, Browning, Farmer, and Hunter all due up, and for Walter Talcott going for his 3rd straight complete game. He had the shutout win over Bluffton 6-0. He beat Bluffton also 6-1, so 3 straight complete games, and Browning will step to the plate for the 4th time. He has struck out, lined out, and reached on a fielder's choice, and Walter set to go to work here in the 9th inning. 4-1 Quakers on top. Talcott will get the sign from Krumlov. Here's the pitch, hit foul.
Great job, Ace. Way to get on top. Let's go.
The right-hander from McCutcheon High School in Lafayette. Chance to pick up another win. It would be win number 6. That pitch high and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Quakers have thrown this year just 2 complete games, both by Talcott. Hard shot, and boy, nice snag that time by Smalling. Throw to first, 1 away. Smalling able to take that one right off the turf. And with 1 out, here's Zach Farmer.
With 1 out, now batting the 3rd baseman, number 20, Zach Farmer.
Farmer 1 for 3, a single back in the 4th inning, and they have kept him in check today. He came in at .391. The pitch on the way, and they go outside again. 1-0. Talcott will shake off the sign. Now the pitch. Fly ball, right field. Bailey on the run. Bailey near the line, and that'll be a fair ball. And holding at first base will be Farmer. And Bailey quickly to get there, and that will hold Farmer to a 1-out single.
Hey, you're just 1 pitch away, eh? With 1 out, a runner at
and that will bring up Nathan Hunter.
Hey, Troy, just wanted to pop in here a second and got a couple stats for you. And Walter Talcott, if he closed out this game, as you said, it'll be his 3rd straight complete game victory, and also would give his 6th win this season, which is 3rd on the all-time career single season list. So 6 wins, 7 is the record. Wow. Matt Brankel is one of those 2. So pretty impressive stuff here from a freshman.
Yeah, not bad. We got a lot of baseball to play too.
That's true.
Yeah, he's going to be pitching most of those weekday games. other than a game like tomorrow, but all the conference games.
Yep, and also be kind of serve as the closer's good breaking pitch there from Talcott. He has served as the closer in the weekend. But again, this is only a 4-1 game. Tying run is on deck.
Yeah.
So let's not speak too soon here. Or give Walt to the broadcaster jinx, as I like to call it.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, and boy, you have to worry about Hunter. 2 away. That is strikeout number, 10? Unofficially 10 strikeouts now by Talcott, and 2 away now here in the 9th inning. And here's Tyler Pash, the final hope now for Mount St. Joe. The pitch on the way, that's in there for a strike. Pash 0 for 3. Farmer with the 1-out single down at first base and a short lead. The stretch and the pitch. Ground ball to Dietz. This should do it right here, and that'll do it for the Lions here in the 9th inning. And the Quakers win this one here tonight. And Walter Talcott, another complete game victory. He is now 6-0 on the year, and again, his 3rd straight complete game. And the Quakers now find themselves at 9-4 on the season. Their 19th win of the season as well. Mount St. Joe will fall to 5-8 and 16-10 overall. But what a performance. 10 strikeouts tonight by Talcott, giving up only 5 hits and 1 run, and that was the lone run in inning number 1. So quite a performance by the freshman from Lafayette, Indiana. So the Quakers get the win tonight. Back home against Wabash tomorrow. Again, that is a 4 o'clock start time. And then a huge series against Defiance coming up. And Defiance may very well come in here with a 7-5 record, depending on what happens with them and Bluffton. But a huge 3-game series against Defiance on Friday and Saturday for 3 games, and all 4 games the rest of this week right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. But tonight, it was Walter Talcott and the Quakers able to get 2 runs in the first inning, add 2 more in the 7th, and they win it by a final of 4-1. Thanks for being with us. This has been Earlham Baseball on Radio Troy Digital Sports.